video is going to be what I read on my Christmas TBR. So I'm gonna start with this book. This book I didn't get around to reading. This wasn't one of the books I ended up reading. I did read this book last year and I really enjoyed it. Essentially, Cassie settles down too young, marrying her first serious boyfriend. Then 10 years later, she's betrayed and broken. With her marriage in tatters and no career or home of her own, she needs to work out where she belongs in the world and who she really is. So begins a year-long trial as Cassie leaves her sheltered life in rural Scotland to stay with... Sorry about that, just sat on a jumper. Trying to shift myself so I'm better in frame, but then I just got a bit caught as well. In the most glamorous cities of the world, New York, Paris and London. Exchanging gorgeous moors and mossy hair for low-carb diet and high-end highlights. Cassie tries on each city for size to attempt to track down the life she is supposed to have and been leading with it. The man who was supposed to love her all along. So, this I enjoyed it the first time. I do want to read it again, because I don't always understand books fully the first time. But I did read this at Christmas last year. Next is a book I did read, and that is Home for Christmas. This does have some, sad and triggering topics. And that. Beth Prince has always loved fairy tales, and now she feels like she's finally on the edge of her own happy ever after. A dream job in a charming independent cinema by the seaside and a gorgeous boyfriend. There's just one problem: no man has ever told her they love her. Desperate to hear those crucial 3 little words for the first time, Beth takes matters into her own hands and wishes she hadn't. Just when it seems like her luck couldn't get any worse, bad news arrives in the devilish handsome shape of Matt, the regional director of Multiplex Cinema, determined to get his hands on Beth's place of work by Christmas. Can Beth keep her job, her man, or is her romantic comedy life about to turn to disaster? This is such a good book. I've read this a few times. It's quite sad in places. Then next, this is a book I didn't end up reading and I haven't read for the past couple of, I didn't read it last year either. But it is a cute book. This is kind of my first book that I kind of associated as a Christmas book. When Teddy runs home a week before Christmas, he's far too excited to worry about what lies ahead. But soon Teddy realises just how cold and scary the world really is. His perfect adventure now seems like a terrible mistake. Then Teddy is discovered on the snowy doorstep by the Woods family. With their kind hearts and cosy cottage, Clara, Ben and their daughter Emily are the family Teddy is desperate to have. But Emily, trigger warning, is ill. Her parents are stressed, and with Christmas around the corner, raising a well-meaning but unruly puppy is hardly a priority. Teddy knows he and little Emily have a special bond, and that he can be friends she needs in this start time. If only he can prove to Ben and Clara how much happier it'd make them all, Teddy just might find the family of his dreams. Does have a happy ending. Emily is getting better. Clara, gets a job again. Is able to, after losing her job, get a job that... And that. And this is a good book. I've read it a few times. Next is another book I did read, and this is The Christmas Tree Farm by Laura Gilmore. I've read now The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, and The Christmas Tree Farm. Kira North hates Christmas, which is unfortunate since she just bought a Christmas tree farm in town that's too cute for its own good. Barnett Ellis is on vacation in Dream Harbor, trying to take a break from his life and his constant desire to always fix things. But somehow fate finds Ben trapped by a blanket of snow at Kira's farm, and despite her grinchiest first impressions with the glow of the fairy tale lights twinkling in the trees and the promise of the warming hot chocolate, maybe, just maybe, these two lost souls will have a Christmas they'll remember forever. This I did like. I'd say my favourite is still the Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, but that could change. I didn't end up reading this one, but I think I'm going to read the Strawberry Patch Pancake House first, because this is book 5, but I'm excited to read this, and I do love the cover, like, so much. As an owner of a beloved gingerbread bakery, Annie Andrews should have a love life to match her business sugary sweets, but instead she's locked in a battle of wills with the irritatingly upbeat bar owner down the street. Mac Sullivan has everything he wants except the girl of he dreams of. It's easier to argue with Annie than to get her to talk to him, but with Jenny and Logan's wedding coming up, they're about to spend a lot more time together. As the snowflakes fall and we have romance in the air, will Annie see that the one she loves to hate might just be the perfect match for her? I even love the back as well. Next is the Storm Leopard. These I actually read at the start of 2025, and these are such good books. I do want to read those again, but we'll see when we next read them. I was gonna say they didn't put these on my TBR like I did last year. Last year I started doing the prompt jars, so these did go with prompts. But I didn't end up reading this one. Next is this one. The countdown to Christmas has begun, and Isabel is enjoying a family day out at the zoo. As her sister watches the penguins, Isabel is the only one to catch a glimpse of a snow leopard, with its beautiful spotted silver-grey coat and long furry tail. Fascinated by these endangered creatures, Isabel tries to find out what she can do to help protect them. Little does she know she's about to be whisked into her own magical snow leopard adventure, where her mother and her cub are in danger. I do like this one. Next is the Snow Cat, which I didn't end up reading this one either. Christmas is approaching. Belle is staying with her gran in her new home. The flat is part of a grand old Victorian house with beautiful gardens, perfect for exploring. If only Belle had someone to play with. One snowy morning, Belle spots a strange white cat with golden eyes who leads her under the branch of a large fire tree. There she meets Charlotte, a girl from the past, who tells her the cat belongs to her poorly sister Lucy. But then snow disappears. Can Belle help her new friend find Lucy's beloved cat? I do like this. Like, the writing on the books is so pretty. They all are so pretty. I just keep doing this in the light. Then I didn't read them. I think this was in my March TBR of the last year, but I didn't end up reading this one. Tilly can't wait to spend Christmas with her grandma and a great gran deep in the countryside, but falling asleep on the train, she awakes to find herself somewhere different. Tilly's essentially like doing a project at school on like World War II and like wants to talk to her grands about like World War II and that. And Tilly is being evacuated from the city at the start of World War II. Stern old Mr. Thomas reluctantly agrees to give her a home on his farm, where he lives alone with his beautiful shepherd dog, Taran. But as Christmas approaches, the farmhouse gets cut off by the snow, and then Taran comes to Tilly for help one stormy night. She needs to be braver than ever before. She essentially has to help Mr. Thomas, who's like hurt himself. And then she helps him get better. then at the end there's them all enjoying Christmas. Like, you can see the Christmas tree. Do you like this one? This one I've read the most in the series, but I haven't read this one in a long time. This is the Reindeer Girl. Lottie loves to hear great-grandma Erica tell stories of her childhood, herding reindeers in the snowy north of Norway. Lottie dreams of having such adventures too. Little does she know that her wish is about to come true. One night just before Christmas, Lottie wakes to find herself in a world of her great-grandma's stories, and she's having her very own reindeer and calf to take care of. This I do like. Next is a book that has made it onto my TBR for January, February, but was on my Christmas TBR, and that is A Christmas Carol. So, essentially, Scrooge does not like Christmas. Scrooge hates Christmas, which we do find out across the book, and you can't really blame him. So then he gets greeted by, like, Jacob Marley's ghost, who was his assistant and was equally as bah humbug about Christmas as he was. And Jacob Marley kind of doesn't want him to keep making the same mistakes and, like, being bah humbug about Christmas. So 3 ghosts come and visit Scrooge. The ghost of Christmas past comes first, which we see his past, like we see his childhood, which sadly is him being left behind at school while the kids go home for Christmas break. And then Clara does come and get him from school and say, like, Dad has changed. Then we see Scrooge, a young Scrooge, working. And we see him at the office Christmas party from Fezziwig. And that's the Christmas party. Then we get the Ghost of Christmas Present, which is where we see everybody celebrating Christmas in the present moment and that. And Scrooge is shown at the Cratchit family and how Tiny Tim needs treatment for an illness, and his family are not well off. Like, they can't afford to get him the treatment that he needs. But Tiny Tim is still full of joy, and they're all still so optimistic about Christmas and that. Then we get the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, which this for me is the scariest part of the book. I'm just such a whip in that. Because we see what Scrooge's future looks like, and trigger warning, Scrooge is going to die, and it's like, do you want people to die remembering you happy, or you, like, see what it's like if he doesn't change, and how people are just so excited to get all his money, all his things, all of that. And then Scrooge realises, I need to change. So Scrooge does change, and then Scrooge is like, Merry Christmas, and he gets a turkey for the Cratchit family and that, and it's like, Merry Christmas. And then I think he even goes to, I don't know, maybe even goes to, like, dinner with the Cratchits. I do like this book. I do enjoy this one. Then this is what I'm, like, currently reading on my Christmas TBR, A Wonderful Life. Like, I'm on page 24. Driving home for Christmas, Beth has everything she wants: the kids, the house, the career, the husband. So why it comes to New Year's, she can't stop thinking about her old college boyfriend. Beth's sister Lau has just been dumped again. Single, childless, she can't help being jealous of her siblings' success. But is the grass really greener on the other side? A heartwarming novel about the lives that could have been and what happens when you start to question your choices. So we essentially find out how, like, Beth's choices, like, question and how it affects everybody in that. It's a really good book. It does make me cry in places. Then I'm currently reading Midnight at the Christmas Bookshop. I'm really enjoying it. Carmen is at a loose end. Her gorgeous Edinburgh bookshop is being used as a film set. She has been upstairs from her sister's house, and the love of her life has just flown thousands of miles away. It's threatening to be a very unjolly Christmas indeed. That was me. An unjolly Christmas. But when the elderly owner of the shop comes to Carmen with a Christmas wish that threatens to never come true, Carmen knows she must buckle down to get the funds to save not only his trip but the shop itself. With the clock ticking and with the help of her nieces and nephew and distracting cute male nanny Helen might still make the Christmas the most wonderful. So that was essentially everything I read on my Christmas trip. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.